Hello everyone, I'm back with another scrapbook process video for you for Peartree Cutfiles design team, and today I'm using the big news cut file because I do have big news. As you can see here, I have been hiding a secret for quite some time now. I am expecting our third child due in November. So I thought this cut file is absolutely perfect to document our pregnancy announcement photo. So if you saw in the photo, I made a little onesie that says farm help is on the way, and I decided to use that as our announcement photo. So I'm going to scrap that today. And what I did was I just cut out the cut file in black with some textured black cardstock, and then I cut it again using the contour feature in the cow print patterned paper from the Homegrown collection by Simple Stories. And then I've also just hand cut out a piece of vellum for the news word, just to make it a little bit different from the first part. So I like to kind of separate the words a little bit and give them a little bit of kind of make them pop a little bit and stand out on their own. So I just decided to do that one a little bit different with the vellum. Just kind of makes it a little bit cloudier, and then I'm just adhering the layers together with my Creative Memories adhesive pen. So it's super simple. It's an easy way to back the cut file is just to use the contour feature using Cricut Design Space. I have a Cricut, so that's what I use. And then I just adhere the layers together. Super simple, easy, and done. And then I just have to put my little pieces of the bee back on there. And you can also just fill those in. You can leave them solid if you like, and don't cut the contour out of that so you don't cut the holes out, and then you don't even have to use those pieces. Sometimes I do that and I just put an embellishment there. And here I wanted this to look like, kind of like it had photo corners on the paper itself. So what I did was I trimmed down this green pattern paper from the collection. I think I ended up trimming it down to about 11 inches or so, because the black cardstock behind it isn't a true 12 by 12, which I kind of find annoying that a lot of the papers aren't true 12 by 12. So I kind of had to go off of that and trim it down quite a bit. And then what I'm doing here is I just measured 1 inch from each corner, and then I used my X-Acto knife to cut the diagonal line between those two. And I did cut it a little bit over so that it had some wiggle room in there to kind of move around and fit into place. So I'm just popping that in there so it looks like it has photo corners, and I just thought that was so super cute and just gave it a little bit of extra texture. And you know, I like my texture. So I have to distress everything. Speaking of, here is my edge distresser I'm pulling out, and I am just doing a double matte on that photo and then gonna make it a triple matte. I decided to add the yellow in there as well, and this is just another pattern paper from the collection. It looks like chicken wire, and I decided to give it a pop of yellow because it just needed that little extra something. And in the end, I do want to use that stencil around big news, but I decide that I want to do some stamping first. So I take this cute little hexagon slash kind of looks like a chicken wire stamp, and I'm using black Stazon ink. And I'm pouncing on that ink pad pretty hard, as you can see, because mine is kind of dry sometimes. I re-ink it constantly, but it's always drying out for some reason. So I do pounce on it pretty hard to get it saturated. And I do tend to stamp on like a little scrap piece, as you can see there on the right, first, because it seems like it just helps to better saturate that stamp, whatever I'm using. And I also tend to rub them on my hand, as you saw there, because that takes the stickiness off of the stamp and it doesn't stick to the paper. See how it's sticking a little bit? It sticks to the ink pad, sticks to the paper. So typically if I rub that on my hand and get some of the oils from my skin on the stamp, then it tends to not stick to the paper and the ink pad is bad. So I'm just pulling out some random stamps from my stash. This set here with the arrows is from Technique Tuesday. It's one of my absolute favorites. I love using it. There's just a lot of super cute arrows in it, and it just creates just a cute little touch to your pages, and it's super cute. I have another set too that's kind of travel themed as well, so I just love them, and I love whenever I can incorporate them into my layouts. So I'm just kind of doing some random stamping here with these. I want to stick to, I think I start with 2 arrows on each side, but then for uniformity, I do add a third one to each side just to keep, I don't know, I just like things to kind of match. I like chaos in my layouts. I like the randomness, but I also like uniform. So I don't know. I'm kind of random sometimes. And sometimes my layouts are kind of crazy and grungy, and that's just the way that I like them. So sorry you're seeing my mom hair there in the frame. Let's see. I'm just kind of placing everything down, and I'm going to throw down the stencil now. So I'm just using some pixie tape by Thermoweb to adhere the stencil down so it's not moving around whenever I'm putting the texture paste on. And then I'm going to use some black texture paste by Picket Fence Studio. And this is the black paper glaze. So this one is called Black Pansy. It's one of my absolute favorites. I love it. It's kind of shimmery up close, so it's super pretty. It goes on so smooth, and it dries pretty quick too. So that's always a plus in my book whenever it dries fast, because I get impatient and don't really like to wait very long. And I find typically with these kind of mediums, if you use your heat gun on them, sometimes it warps your paper up pretty bad. So I didn't want to pull out the heat gun for it. So I'm just impatient. It dries pretty fast, so that is always a good thing in my book. So I'm just finishing up that stencil. I wanted this to just like add some additional appeal to the cut file because it is big news, and I wanted your attention to be drawn to those words, kind of like it's pulling you into that area, and then you go to the photo. So I kind of wanted that to be my focal point. And then basically I'm just going to pop some embellishments on this to finish it up. I thought this homegrown sticker was super funny, so I do pop that in as well. I'm going to speed this part up here and cut this out of the video because you don't need to watch me trying to use up all of these little pop dots. I have these in my stash for a long time, so I'm just trying to use them up. So I just fast forwarded that part for you. And here is that homegrown. I just thought that was super funny because, I mean, I'm making a baby, so it's homegrown, right? And we are farmers. We live on a farm, and yeah, so I just thought that was absolutely perfect. So then I'm just kind of going through the die cuts and pulling out some bits and pieces here. I actually have two packs of the die cuts that I combined, so you'll probably see me flipping through some duplicates here. So that's why I just combined a couple of the packs. But I'm just pulling out some bits and pieces that I think will go cute with this layout, and I'm just going to place them down, and then I'm going to do some more stamping here in a bit, and that's going to finish it up for me. So I will pop in at the end with the finished result. So here is my finished layout, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today and for watching and supporting me. And I hope you follow along in my journey here with this kiddo. I'm sure I'll be scrapping about my pregnancy more in the future. And so thank you so much. You can grab the cut file in the shop and I'll link it below for you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.